Hey guys, for today's reading of Sir Gus, we're going to be back into our activity notebook. And today what we're going to look at is 3.1, and we're going to look at the story All's Well That Ends Well. When we left off, the king had just gotten his ring stolen, and he called all 12 of his knights to help him find his ring. But only 11 showed up, and we kind of learned about why and what happened. And when we get to this, and the king came and to Sir Gus and helped him out and sent him on his way. Today in All's Well That Ends Well, we're going to read to find out what happens to Sir Gus after he sets off on the king's horse. One of our really big focuses today that we focused on with The Wind in the Willows, and we're also focusing on with Sir Gus, is going to be that idea of sequence of events. So sequence of events is going to be the order that events happen in a story, always in the order they happen. So oftentimes when I know that in class and when people are retelling a story, they'll be like, well, the last thing they remembered. They'll say, Gus rode off on his horse. Well, that was the last thing that happened in The Thief. But what was the first thing that happened? The king's ring got stolen. He called his knights. 11 of them came. And it's telling those events in order. Today for The Wind in the Willows, your focus was to go into those Google slides that I sent you guys and put them in the correct order that they happened. Today we're going to do the same with All's Well That Ends Well. And the really nice thing about this one is with The Wind in the Willows, you had to hear it and think about what was happening. With All's Well That Ends Well, you have that text right in front of you. So a really big focus is whenever you have that to read, go back in and find where it happened and find the order to put them in. Today's is going to be a little bit different with this one is you're going to get this sheet here, and it has 5 sentences for you and 5 places to write the sentences, and you're going to write them in order. Next to it, you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the order they happened, and then you're going to rewrite the sentence on the line. The reason it's so important for me that you guys rewrite the sentence on the line too is because we are practicing writing complete sentences, and that's what they're giving you here. So they have capital letters, they have punctuation, proper nouns are appropriately starting with capital letters, and you need to be practicing those same things in your writing where you see how it's correctly done and you practice it as well. So today your job is to read both pages of Sir Gus, it's front and back, All's Well That Ends Well, and then to answer or to number these events in order, the sequence they happened, and then rewrite those sentences. On the back side as well, you're going to see on this page, it just says, can you find 6 words in the story that have the sound? Now it has a U with the 2, this will be kind of hard to see, the U with the 2 slashes, and that's letting us know it's the sound we're hearing, and it's the sound. So one example we all wrote as a class together was Gus. Gus has the sound. So as you're rereading, look for any other words that have the sound and write them down. Your job today when you're done is going to be posting pictures of the front and the back of that activity page of 3.2. With every other story as well, when I've given you Sir Gus, I've given you those focus questions. So I'll show you those too to keep in mind as you guys are reading today. These are going to be those focus questions for just like when we read the beginning in The Thief, we have All's Well That Ends Well focus questions. And as you go through this, check what paragraphs I want you to read. Read the focus question. How did Gus react to riding the king's horse? Then read those paragraphs, stop, and make sure you can answer that question. This is just a really good strategy to give you a purpose for reading and to check for understanding. If you're unsure of any of these, go back and reread those paragraphs again because it's helping us identify that text evidence that, hey, in paragraphs 1 and 2, I should be able to find how Gus reacted to riding the king's horse. Go through this as you're reading today. Again, as always, as well, if you're with mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, someone around who can help guide you with this, it's a great stopping point to have them read the text out loud to them and then answer these questions to them. So you guys can have that conversation as we kind of would in the classroom as well.